Hello everyone, Miss Carrie here. Even if you're already finished with your cards for the year, this tutorial is one you don't want to miss. We're going to explore creative ways to use your Hip Kit color kits and winter dies to create 3 adorable gingerbread cards. I'm going to bring in items from the November Mixed Media collection. Mine does look a little bit different than yours does from the site. I'm going to pop a picture up on the screen of what the current Hip Kit collection looks like. This is what you will be receiving when you purchase the kit. Now, I'm one that also likes to use past color kits, so I'm going to bring in some of the magical sprays from last month. I'm going to show you how to use these magicals with the Nouveau embellishment mousse. I am going to keep this simple because I am not a mixed media expert by any means, but I do want to show you some fun ways to use the items in your color kit collections. As always, I encourage you to use what you already have in your collection, but if you would like a list of the items I'm using today, one has been provided for you in the description below, along with a discount code to the Hip Kit site. Let's get started with the project. We're going to start with the mixed media backgrounds first. These are going to need a little bit of time to dry. Once we finish those, we are going to stamp all of the images, cut all of the pieces out, and then we'll assemble the cards. If you're new to using magicals, I want to show you how they work. They are an intense pigment powder. You don't need very much. I like to place mine in a little paint well, and then I add a tiny bit of water. You're going to see that the color is very intense. If you need this to be a little bit lighter, you can add more water. If you would like it darker, you can add a little bit more powder. The next card's going to look a little bit like a snow globe. I have 2 pieces of white cardstock cut at 4 inches by 5 1/4. The top piece is going to have a circle cut that's going to create a little window, and we're going to use our magicals to create a lovely blue background that will show through that window. With the October color kit, you received some magical sprays. To use these magicals, you would add water to the spray bottle and use them just like any colorful mixed media spray that you have in your collection. Now, I'm not going to create a spray today. I'm actually just going to pull out some of the powder and sprinkle it over my mixed media cardstock. I am going to grab a dry brush and spread this around a little bit. It does have a little bit of shimmer in it, so you're going to see some of that mica start to shine. I'm going to tap off the excess from my brush. Then I'm going to bring over a spray bottle of water and spritz it over the top. Now, because this was not mixed in the bottle, there are going to be some remnants of other colors that mix together to create the teal color. So you're going to see some bits of blue, some bits of green, and some bits of yellow. I love how those undertones come through. This is just another way that you can use the magicals. So if you remember any of your color lessons in elementary school, you learned that red and yellow make orange, red and blue make purple, and blue and yellow make green. We also learned that if you mix all of your primary colors together, you ended up with a brownish color. And that's what we're going to do here. You want to start with small amounts of color and slowly mix them together. If it appears a little bit too green, you can add some red. If it appears too red, you can add some blue. This actually turned out just perfect. As I painted over the mixed media cardstock, you can see that we have this lovely, soft gingerbread color. If you want to add a little bit of texture to this, you can add some spatters. If you want to deepen the color, you can let the first layer dry, then add another layer over the top. All right, I'm going to set this aside and create another background. This time we are going to use that Nouveau embellishment mousse. This has a very soft pearlescent shimmer. I want to create 3 colors, a pink, a yellow, and a blue. Now, as you saw, I have red and I have yellow and I have teal. I do not have a pink. But again, if you remember your lessons in elementary school, when you add white to a color, you soften it and create a tint. When you're mixing your colors together, it's much easier to add more of the magical powder to intensify the color than it is to bring in more of the mousse to try to soften it. So always start with a tiny bit of powder, mix it together, and add more if needed. The yellow did require me to use more of the powder to create that deep yellow color, but I did start out with a small amount and added little bits of color until I got the hue that I was looking for. Our last card is going to be a slimline card. I'm going to use my palette knife to create some little swishes of color across this background. Now I chose to leave white around these and create more of a brushstroke-like look. If you want to fill it in completely, feel free to do that. You can also create a more intricate or decorative look with a stencil, or use some of the other Magicals colors to create more of a spring, fall, or winter themed card. The last thing we're going to do is create a lovely green for our foliage. I'm going to sprinkle a little bit of yellow onto this mixed media paper and bring in some of that teal color. I'm going to spritz some water over the top and use a watercolor brush to mix these together. In some areas, the blue and yellow will mix, creating a bright green. On other parts of the cardstock, you're going to see more of the teal, and on other parts, you're going to see more of the yellow. This is just going to create a nice variation in the pine boughs that we're going to cut with the floral dies. All right, while all of our mixed media pieces dry, we're going to stamp the images that we need for the cards. This stamp set has 2 sentiments. One says, "'Tis the season," the other says, "Merry Christmas." Each one of the sentiments is going to be stamped on the lower part of the card. Now, many of you have already created your Christmas cards, and you probably already have them mailed. If you're like me, you may need a few last-minute Christmas card ideas, and simple card designs are always nice to have on hand. For those of you who already have your Christmas cards made and in the mail, you can save these designs for next year. On our slimline card, we're going to create a row of houses. When you're stamping these house designs, make sure that you leave plenty of room in between to be able to cut out the pieces using the dies. The last thing we're going to do is heat emboss these 2 gingerbread houses. I'm just using some Versamark ink to stamp the designs. Now I'm just going to sprinkle some fine white embossing powder over the top. I'm going to tap off the excess and heat this with a heat tool. I like to heat from underneath so that I don't disturb any of the powder. If you're new to heat embossing and need a few tips, I have a free guide on my website. I'll add a link to that in the description below. Now, I've always been one who stamps first and cuts out the images with the dies later. I realize that the village dies are solid, and it was difficult to line them up with the images I stamped. So I'm going to show you a little trick that will help you line up the dies if you stamp ahead of time. I just used some white cardstock from my scrap bin and cut out each one of the house images. I have the negative pieces here, and I'm going to use those as a template for my dies. I'm lining up the negative piece over the stamped image. Then I'm going to place my die over the top and use some mint tape to hold it in place. I want you to remember that the magicals were painted on a heavy weight mixed media paper, and from my scrap bin, I pulled out a heavyweight white cardstock. So this die is not going to cut all the way through the layers. This has nothing to do with the capability of the dies. I could have used a shim to create more pressure and forced that to cut through, but it would have damaged my heat embossing. What I'm doing instead is using this template method to create a partial cut and an impression that will help me line up the die over the stamped image. I'm going to go ahead and repeat this method with the rest of the houses and cut them off camera so that I can show you what else you need to cut out for these cards. Using a mix of magicals, we created that large green background. I'm going to use that to cut out some greenery from the winter foliage collection. I cut out pine branches from the entire sheet for all 3 cards. You can cut out as many as you like. The next thing we're going to cut is our window using a circle die. Make sure that you save the circle that cuts out. We're going to be using that on another card. Each month, Hip Kit creates a Pocket Life kit. This is a 6x8 collection designed for those who are pocket scrapbookers or traveler's notebook creators. As a card maker, this is one of my favorite collections to use for cards. The patterns are scaled down, and the 4x6, 3x4, 6x8, and 3x6 pieces are the perfect size for card making projects. I have selected a few patterns here to use as my card backers, and I'm going to trim them down to fit the designs. The first 2 card backgrounds are going to be cut at 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. The last one is a slimline card. This is going to be cut at 3 1/2 by 8 inches. Since most of today's project revolved around teaching you how to use the color kits from Hip Kit, I'm just going to quickly go over the assembly process for each card. This first one here is the window card. If you wanted to, you could create a shaker card from this. I did use my sewing machine to add some stitching around that circle. Once the 3 layers were adhered together, all I had to do was add some bits of greenery and my little gingerbread house in the lower left corner. I didn't like the way the gingerbread house looked sitting atop the greenery, so I did back it in white using one of the PL cards. I just fussy cut this real quick, and then I popped it over the top. This second card is a little more detailed, but you can alter it to fit your personal preference. I backed it with the stripe pattern paper, trimmed down some of the pine boughs and adhered them around the back of the stitched circle. Adhered this in place with a little bit of foam tape, and then added the red house over the top. This slimline card has such a soft design. I think it's one of my favorites. I just spaced those black and white houses across the card. And then I selected a sentiment from the Pocket Life collection. I cut out that little home for the holidays sentiment, backed it with some teal pattern paper from the PL kit, added a little bit of greenery around it, and topped it with a bow. I'm going to share one last mixed media tip with you before I go. You might have noticed that I had quite a bit of that pearlescent mousse left over. I just swiped the excess across some white cardstock. I used the snowflake die to cut out some tiny little leaves, and then I just adhered them to the card. Here are all 3 Christmas cards that I created with the Hip Kit color kits and November dies. I added a twine bow and pink organza bow to these 2 cards, and I finished adhering those pearlescent leaf pieces in place. These 3 cards are very clean designs and simple to make, and they give you an opportunity to use some of the items that came with your Hip Kit color kits. I hope you enjoyed learning these techniques and you give a few of them a try. I want to thank you for joining me today. If you have any questions about the project or supplies I used, feel free to post that in the comments below. I hope you have a wonderful week, and I can't wait to see what you create.